computer. So today we are making the retro, as I call it, the old Netflix thing. And why is something going wrong here? Let's make sure we can see the stream, because I can't see the chat currently, and that's a huge problem. Can I go to my customization? Hey, who is Cronus? Welcome. Here we go. I'm going to mute that. Okay, now at least I can see the chat. However, let me go customization. Oh, I think I know what I need to do. You think I would know? I'd know this after a while. Let's go to, yeah, it should be customization, shouldn't it? All right, channel content. Sorry, I'm just trying to make sure that I can take, here we go. View live in control room, perfect. Now I've got the chat up, awesome. How we doing, Cronus? What's going on today? What's going on? We've got, we're gonna do something pretty cool, I think. And we may have to do a few different methods to see what works best. We have a very exciting day ahead of us today, making the Netflix, the retro Netflix as I call it, the old Netflix intro, where it's just the simple whoop. You've got your shadow going down, it seems to just emerge from the white, you've got your shadow, and boom. Looks like it comes out of the wall and just, oh. Actually, wait a second. Does it go into the corner here? Okay, it does. Whoever was doing this, kind like they knew what they were doing. It does rescend back into the wall. The eye is kind of weird though. The eye like shifts over. The eye shifts over a crazy amount, but there's a couple different parts to this. And I think we're going to need to do some 3D today. We're going to do some 3D animation. I think we're going to do probably the follower. Probably the follower and the maybe a displace 3D or a duplicate. No, not a duplicate. It'd be a, can I put a follower on a text 3D? Wait a second. I can. Okay. So I can do that. Let's think here. So we're gonna have to do maybe some jiggery pokery here, because I was testing out slightly a little bit before the stream. Let me paste this into here. We take a Bender 3D. I type in Netflix. Here's what our Bender looks like when it hasn't made any, or when it's made too many changes. Netflix. I didn't even type out the full word. Here's the full word, right? Netflix. Boom. We can extrude it as well. Oh, I should probably move my settings, but you know, you've got. Oh no, I'm breaking the fourth wall, guys. I'm breaking the fourth wall. Okay. You got your extrusion style there, extrusion depth. Hey, Rastha? How you doing? Today is an exciting day. I don't think this needs to be that deep. Let's see. What does this look like? Also, guys, let me know if the music is too loud. I can turn that down. So it's relatively thick. I think it might be a little bit thicker. I think that's what we'll do. We'll keep it slightly thicker for the sake of, just so we have a safeguard, because then what we'll do is we'll combine these two. So let me merge this over top of that. I'll get a black back. Actually, no, we'll take like a gray background just so that we can get something similar to this. And then when these two are merged, and size this up. So this is going to be like cutting off our text ever so slightly so that we keep our shadows. There's no light kind of bleeding in from underneath. Fine, it's good. Okay, perfect. That's one of the things with music. You never know exactly if it's gonna be right. Some people go, "Oh, you got to turn the music up." Some people go, "You got to turn the music down." I think the most difficult part will not be the animation. Honestly, I think the most difficult part is going to be this curve right here, like this very slight curve. I could be wrong, but you'll notice like there's little to no curve on the top. Here, you can see it better with this. There's like basically no curve on the top. And then on the bottom, there's a whole bunch of curve. So it becomes can you make a tutorial playlist? I believe I have a tutorial playlist called FX Breakdown, Resolve FX Breakdown. So you click on that. So far we have, I think, wait a second, how many videos do we have in there? I think we should have maybe 4 or 5. Let's check this out. Resolve FX Breakdown. We apparently have 9 videos in there. Wait a second. Wait, where are these 9 videos? Okay, so we've got Lethal Company. We've got, why does it show 9 if there's not 9? So we've got Lethal Company. We did the anime, like the impact frames. We did the car viral transition. We did the skate logo. This is not an effects breakdown. I should remove that from the playlist. We did camera movement, which is not one, but that's still a really cool video. Then we just did Stranger Things 5. We did Soma. I need to add Balatro into there as well. So I'll update that as soon as this stream is over. But yeah, so we've got some tutorials. Those are effects breakdown though. I guess what you might be saying. You can let me know what you think. Rastha is what you might be after. Is what's the word I'm going for here? Like learning basics in Resolve. So like learning more about these nodes as opposed to learning how stuff is made. You want to know how to use the nodes, what the nodes do. Okay, so we need, with our spotlight, if I zoom this out, let's take a look. So we only end up with shadow going across this. So we've got a spotlight that's probably like, yeah, here we go, pick a target. So now it'll just stick there no matter what. Yeah, so I'm gonna want something like this. And then let's move that over. Yeah, basically it's gonna be like this, but a lot brighter. I'm gonna want probably like an ambient light, I think. And I'm gonna need this. I'm gonna need the shadows longer. So let me think here for a moment. It's almost as if, I think, let's see, I think our red is gonna be a little bit more, and let me do this so I can, I don't want to do that. Let's do this. Let's take a look at, here we go, I guess we're gonna want both of those. I don't think hardware renderer will change either of these really. Yeah, so we'll stick with software renderer. So for that, Revanth or Revanth. I'll do my best. Let me know about the pronunciation. Okay. So I guess, yeah, okay, so we know the letters need to have some kind of influence on the length of the shadows. So now the shadows won't be the end of the world, honestly. If we can't get the shadows perfect, but we get them like almost there, I'll still be satisfied. Let me try extruding this out to like a 0.4 and see what that looks like. And then let's pull our, oh, let's actually get our camera from here and pull this back. Here we go. So now we have a 3D camera. Yeah. So now we have a 3D camera. We can actually take a look and see. DaVinci, that's right. Can you make a tutorial on The Last of Us? On The Last of Us. Let me see. What is there to make for The Last of Us? You've got me curious now. Let me see. The Last of Us. Is there like a title sequence or some sort? Or of some sort? For The Last of Us? But we are back in DaVinci today. Exciting. We need to make the shadows. Shadows, okay, so lighting as a whole is something that for a lot of people is very, very difficult to get correct, because you need to get the brightness right. You need to get all the positioning of everything exactly right, especially like if you have multiple lights. Technically I have 3 different parts to my lighting. We've got the backlight back there, which just casts yellow and orange all over the place. We've got one light over there, and that gives you this like half and half kind of lighting. And then I have some ambient lighting as well. It's a title animation. Okay. Yeah, we can probably do that. Oh, let me change this to live chat as well so I can see everything. There we go. Yeah, I'll take a look at it. I'll take a look at it, Revan, because like I don't think there's a lot we can't make. Like, we've done Stranger Things, we managed to do Soma, Netflix. So the next video is actually going to be the new Netflix. So there's, just so you guys know, there are a bunch of different Netflix titles. So we've got, of course, this is technically the new one, right? Let me mute this. This is the new one, right? And then this is the old one. So here's our retro Netflix that we're making on stream today. The next video is technically this one, but I figured this one would be a little bit too boring for you guys. I wanted it to be a little bit more, what's the word? A little bit more fun to make, right? A little bit more like, I wanted to be able to teach you guys more than just like using a fast noise or whatever. So let me go over to here. Yeah, also, actually, let me play through these, because I took a look at a lot of these. This one's cool. This one, we could probably make this one on stream as well, because it's just going to be the other one with like some filters and stuff. Look at that. So that's weird. It's like, so the F is casting a shadow on the L. Oh, I know. Okay, I know how we're getting these shadows. It's the follower. The N is further out than the X right now. That's how it's happening. So, okay, so before we even do the lighting, this is all the behind the scenes stuff you guys don't see. So before we do the lighting, we're gonna need to do the animation. But yeah, here's the retro one. This one was for Stranger Things Season 4, which honestly isn't that different, right? We could make that background pretty easy. The 3 body problem is a really, really cool one as well. Like these, I would love to learn to make these. I think we would need some kind of like ambient occlusion map as well. And ambient occlusion is like, it's a thing that helps you with reflective properties. This is something else really cool. I am debating making this one. And then let me show you guys the behind the scenes. Where is our fusion composition? And I'll turn this off. So here's the one we're making in the next video, where we have this insane 3D stuff going on before all the colors finally converge. Boom, we make the N. Not gonna linger on that though today, because we are making the Netflix. We're making the retro Netflix one. Okay. Let's get rid of shadows and everything else. Enable our fake shadows on here. I'm gonna disconnect our spotlight for now. And now we need to take a look at, here we go, our Bender 3D. So I need to figure out a way to bend our text in a way that is not like this. And unfortunately, I think we may have to get a little creative, which is not really unfortunate. But you can see we're bending each letter, I think, individually. Yeah, we're bending each letter individually. Text box. Let's see. I might be able to get this actually to behave as one layer circle, which I also don't want path. No. Let's see. Transform. Here we go. Lines. And that did not do anything. Okay. So I'm thinking. Because we've got this, right? We've got our three different axes that we can bend things on. And I need it to bend from here like a sheet of paper. Now, here's the thing. If we go over here and I make our text an image plane, maybe I can do like an extrude 3D. Let me see if this is oh wait, can I just do image plane into extrude 3D, or do I need to make this a polygon? We might need to use like an S Boolean or something in order to use extrude 3D. Oftentimes you need to use some kind of S shape, and I'm trying to remember exactly. Maybe it's an S render. Let's try that. S render, because there is some way to put all this stuff together, or where you can take normal 2D text and then you can make it into 3D text. Let me see. S Boolean. The S shape nodes, man. S B spline, S scale, S duplicate, S ellipse. I don't use the S nodes nearly enough, but you know what we might be able to do is use an S polygon. Hey, good, how you doing? Welcome back. Here's what we might be able to do. I'll take an S polygon, right? We'll make a box. Then how can oh, there's a way. I know there's a way to do this. Let's see, S render. Okay, we're getting somewhere. But then let's do extrude 3D. How you doing? Good. It's been a while. It's been a while, man. S Boolean. Okay, yeah. So this is what we wanted. Can I? Oh, I can. I can connect this as a mask. Okay, this is what I was talking about. So you use an S polygon, which is basically just math, right? It's a shape created by math. Extrude 3D. I need the style. Let me see. How can I keep? Here's the thing. I need this to stay solid. Extrusion subdivisions. There's a way. Oh, there's a really, really cool way you can make this solid. Yeah, so I have that like this right now. That's kind of funny how it's lopsided. I'll pull this up just a little bit. There we go. Okay. There is a way to make this non-zero winding. Let's see. No. There's a way I can make this so that, let's try border width. No. There's a way I can make this so that it is completely solid. Maybe I can do, oh wait, here's an idea. Maybe we can do shape 3D. Okay, yeah, that's not bad. Take Netflix. For some reason, this is stretched, though. Cube. The cube. Okay. So this is stretched now, which we don't necessarily want. But, cylinder, sphere, ico. If I put this as a cube, obviously we're going to end up with a whole bunch of these, but shape 3D, which is a whole bunch of stuff. If I type in cube though, cube 3D, watch this. Now it's only on one side because I have a whole bunch of inputs for all the other sides. So I think front is orange. So I'm going to do this. I'm getting rid of everything else. Damn, okay, yeah, but that still does not give us the extrude that we want. And I'm pretty sure it's because this is 2D. I need a way to make this 3D, and there is actually a really easy way to do it. I just do it so infrequently that I have forgotten, because I think even if we go into our size and I pull up the Z, it won't do anything, but if I pull up the X and the Y, it will function. Okay, so yeah, so we're back to the S polygon. I could use, can I use a text 3D? Let's see if we can take our text 3D from over here and put that into the extrude 3D. Let's see if that works. Okay. So it's got to be the extrude 3D. There's, let's try this. Let me try that. There's a way, there's a very specific way to do this, and I know it somehow. Let's see. There's a very old channel on YouTube. You see every video, your PC specs. So my PC specs, I've got a 4090, I've got a 4080 and a whole bunch of RAM and stuff. But yeah, so I'm using a 4080. Mind you, for this, like, you could do this on like a 2060 or something. Like this 3D thing, right? Not very difficult. Okay, let me quickly speed through. I'm gonna quickly speed through. We're gonna follow a quick tutorial right here, just on the 3D portion. For some reason, making things 3D in Resolve that are not supposed to be 3D has always been the bane of my existence. I have to look something up every time I do it. Let me see. Let me quickly put this on 4 times speed. Okay, yeah, so okay, yeah, so you do use an S polygon and an extrude 3D, but okay, this is weird. Oh, okay, so because I have no data on the side of the image, 3050, that's pretty good. You can do a lot of stuff with a 3050. Okay, so because we have no data on the side of our image here, this is the reason we're not getting any side of our letters. It's because we don't have anything on the side. So actually, what I'm going to do then is, let's quickly look on the internet. Let's quickly look on the internet. I think we might be able to just use Arial as our font here. Let me quickly check. Where's our text? Okay, here's our text. Because I want to get this as close as I can for you guys. So let's see. There's bold, black, italic, bold, italic. Because what we're gonna do, I'm new to DaVinci. Do you know any free transition packs or any essential stuff I can download for DaVinci? Well, in the channel description, we've got some free stuff on the store page. And then also just like here on YouTube, right? You type in like free plugins, best free plugins for DaVinci Resolve. Whole bunch of videos are gonna pop up of people doing all the different showcases. Yeah, there's tons of free stuff for DaVinci. Like it is crazy how much stuff you can find. Let me go down to my size controls here, which here are my size controls. They're not really doing a whole bunch. And here we go. I think this will work for what we want right here. So it looks, you know what? I'm curious. I'm curious now. We might not need to use the method I was looking at, which is, so because we have no side data on our text here, right? It's completely flat. It's a flat image. Where's our text? Yeah, because it's a flat image. At first I was thinking, oh, I'm gonna need to export our text, like get it in the perfect position. Export it as a PNG, then I can make it 3D, and then I can do everything else. But then we're not gonna end up with the ability to do the follower, which we need for the letter animation to happen individually. So what I think we're gonna have to do instead is use the text with an image plane. So this is gonna go into here. We're gonna turn off the Blender 3D for now. We're gonna put our renderer here. Let's bring our camera down as well, just so that this is a little bit more centered. And then we'll also push our camera out. And let's merge this over top of our reference, just so we can get the size down properly. So let's do that. Let's see, make a tutorial on our own plugins. Oh, make a tutorial. You want to see a tutorial on how you can make your own plugins. So a tutorial on making your own plugins is very easy in theory. Now there's like a bunch of different ways that you can make plugins for DaVinci, right? So you've got macros, which are things you would use just in Fusion. So it's kind of like saving Fusion settings for Fusion nodes. So I could be like, oh, I want all these nodes to always be together, and then I'd go like this. I'd hit like macro, create macro, and I would use this just inside Fusion, right? You also have presets and templates, which you use for the edit page. So for example, if I want, let me go to favorites. Here we go. So we have a preset here for text. So for animating text, let me cut this down. So we have a preset here for animating text, and I've set it up so that I can have it kind of go however I want it to. You can have it fade in, fade out, right? Can have it like shake while it's on the screen or do whatever. All right, so and so you can make these for the edit page as well. So you've got macros, you've got plugin or like templates. What else do you have? Oh, there's scripting and fuses. Scripting and fuses, let me tell you. So whereas just downloaded your all-in-one text preset. Yeah, so the demo, that's the demo one. So the demo one, because there's so many different tools in there, and I have not made a video on how to actually use it, I did want to make sure I put out a demo so people could give it a test drive. right? Because I think it's what, it's like $5, right? So gives you the ability to test drive though. Where is our, oh, we're in the wrong one here. We need to go over here. Yeah, it gives you the ability to test drive, because like it's a lot of fun. And that's only version 1. I'm already working on version 2, which is going to be a complete overhaul. Like so much stuff. Yeah, so fuses. So fuses are like the next level of making plugins. It's where you start to basically code your own nodes into Resolve. It's like you could make custom things that can automatically space stuff, automatically animate things. You can optimize tools that are not native in Resolve as well, so that they function even better. Like, oh, the rabbit hole goes deep. But I am planning on doing a video on just making your own and exporting your own presets, like as templates, because I think that's where most people are sitting in terms of skill. So this is actually okay. So this starts off big and then gets smaller. So what I'm gonna do, just so that I have the, I think what I'll do, I'll use the layout size for this, and we're going to, let's see, we're gonna keyframe this slowly so that it goes down. We're gonna start at 1. And I think that's about where it stops. I'll bring it down to like there, right? 0.75, that's perfect. Nice round number, or nice clean number. So we're already slowly shrinking with that as well. And let me go into the spline editor here, just so that this is, I think Control T or Control. What did I have for to make these linear? Oh, maybe it's Control L. Huh, there we go. Control L. Who knew? Control L is linear. So now this will shrink properly how I want it. But the way I'm thinking we do this, and let me actually make a copy of this so that we have a version that is not animated for our purposes, so that we can play around with this a bit. So here's what I'm thinking we do. We render this out, right? We do all of our animation. We render it out as a 3D object, or we render it out as one object. Then here's what we're gonna do. Here, let me put this stuff here. We don't need the bender just yet, but I'm thinking we render this as something 3D. Then what we're going to do is image plane. How am I going to do this? Oh yeah, okay. So we do it as a 3D object or something. Let me see. So basically, I'm going to try and force this to create, to like fake creating sides. And then can I plug my image plane into my extrude 3D? Will that work? Or does it need to be... Okay, so will this work? Damn. Okay, so still nothing. So the issue we're running into right here is I need the ability to animate each letter using the follower. And I need this all to function as one, but I need to be able to animate the letters separately. But when I apply the bender, I need to use the bender on all of them at the same time instead of it affecting each letter separately. And this is proving to be a little bit of a challenge, but I think we can figure this out. I don't see why not. So let me think here. So border width, if I do that, I'm just making the whole thing bigger. Let me check back here real quick. And I can use a camera 3D, okay. So let me see. So there's got to be a way. I'm fairly certain that there is a way to take like 2D text. I don't know why I put quotations there, but then to make it 3D. So let's just bear with me for a moment here. Okay. So. Maybe I can. Let's see. Okay, so there's one way I could do this, but I'd have to trace every letter out, which obviously we do not want to do. So I think what I need is a way that I can turn our text into basically, like, plug it into a background or something, and then plug that into the image plane, and then plug that into the extrude 3D. Do I have? There's a way to do. There's a way to do this. Let me see, 3D text stuff. Let me see, we can link apparently text 3D, camera 3D, blah, 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 blah. What you're hearing right now is me scrubbing through a video on text animation. Okay, so we might solve a different issue here of creating this in between. So I need so rendering it. I'm surprised rendering this through does not. If I just do this as a mask, let me see. So if I just do this, okay, that doesn't create anything. What do you think here? Can I? There has to be a way. I'm not giving up on this. Let me try S-shape, Cooper S-shape 3D. Let me see, how exactly does this work? Oh, this is just like a fuse that makes whatever stuff. Let me see, oops. Rounded edge displace, got a weld in there, brightness contrast, so we'll be using displace and other stuff. Could I use a displace? Maybe to make this. Anyways, okay, back into it. Don't remove the stream after over. I don't think the streams get removed. As far as I know, the streams will stay available. All right, the streams should be available on the channel. Okay, for now, let's do our follower animation. Let's focus on that. And yeah, let's focus on that for now. So we are going to take, oh no, wait, we need to do that in 3D land. Yeah, this is really, really, oh, you know what? Wait a second, am I silly here? Am I silly? Wait a second. Wait a second here. Wait a second. Image plane. Chat, we may have just solved our issue here. We may have just solved the problem. The problem may be solved, but it's entirely possible that the problem is solved. Is this 3D? No, text 3D. Make it 3D. Why is it not 3D? Ah, here we go. Damn, that's 3D. That's thick. Thick boy. Okay. So, if I do this, and let's change perspective to front. Okay, so image plane 3D into Bender 3D, and then when we plug this in, there we go. Now we're getting the bend, right? The only thing with this is, I think, yeah, so that starts at the top. This starts in the center. The only thing with this, oh, here we go. I don't want the angle changing. The only thing with this is it will bend the entire thing, which we do not want, right? We got twist as well. Shear, which I'm pretty sure is doing things that we are not aware of, or that we wouldn't be able to see. Now, there's another way we can warp this, I'm pretty sure. And it would be with a displace 3D. So we would take our image plane, we'd plug it into a displace 3D, then we would take something like an ellipse, unless I'm ellipse, here we go, 2 L's. I definitely know how to use Resolve. What are you guys talking about? Okay, so we'd make something like this, really feather this out, we'd bring it down. Okay, not quite what I was going for, but you know. Okay, render 3D. So then I would attach that into here, and let's do another camera and merge 3D, because we want to be able to control exactly how our viewer is. So let's do this. Move this down. Now, I do not want our displace 3D to be warping this to an insane degree, and we don't want it warping. Point to camera default, no. We do not want it moving like that. Maybe we might not even need a displace 3D. Let's try this. Invert. Ooh, that's interesting. We do this. So that does push it. There is something else we could do which might work, and that would be, instead of using a displace, you want to learn everything from me. Thank you. I'm still trying to remember. Okay, revamp or revanth. I'm gonna keep saying it. I'm gonna make sure I can remember. Okay, so let's take our Bender 3D. If we put this into the image plane, but we instead bend it, let's see, on the X, not on X. So I'm gonna see if I can bend it inwards. Let me see. Not there. Netflix, so this is bending it like that, which, we don't want. We might have to go back to the X, and then, yeah, there we go, 90 degrees. Okay, that actually does kind of what we're after. But okay, this might be a forced camera perspective. Are you guys ready? This might be a forced camera perspective. Yeah, so that's, you can see we're kind of getting there now. So if I change my angle of view so that it's even, so that it's like super far out, then we do this. So this does give us a bend, and you can see basically our camera can just see more of it, and because we can see more, that's how it's bending. But now we have the issue of our letters kind of warping, which if we look at our reference, our letters do not warp, right? They don't warp from the side. They just kind of bend from the bottom. So instead of doing that, let me replace this with a new camera in case we need our old camera. Let's do this, move this down. So we're gonna go back to the bender node. Here's what we might do instead. So we'll take our renderer, we'll do a displace instead of a displace 3D, because the displace 3D was not working exactly how we wanted it. But we're gonna take the same ellipse. The displace 3D was pulling us in 3D space. We're gonna see if we can work some magic in 2D space. So let's put this into there and kind of pull this out like that. And I think I have this inverted, so here we go. All right, so let's see. Okay, it looks like we're just pushing it. We're not actually. Let me try this. Because we don't really want to affect the top of our letters. We just want to affect the stuff that is at the bottom. So kind of like that, and it really is just the bottom. Now there is another way we could do this, and that would be adjusting every letter individually, which, I mean, it's a method. I won't say it's not a method, but I don't think it's our best method. Okay, we're kind of getting there. Let's see. Y refraction. Oh. Chat, I think we found it. That's our render 3D. I think we found it. Basically, I'm just after the edges. Let me get rid of this. So we want basically up to our edges here, where you can see it's just the N to the X. So we just want to be basically right here, and then the bend stops basically like right here. It's very, very subtle just on the bottom. I mean, like, it's still visible, but it is subtle. So yeah, it'd be something like this, but with more Y refraction, kind of like that. And obviously it is warped, so I'm gonna have to go into our text 3D. Oh, you know what? Adjust our extrusion depth. Excuse me a little bit. And here's something important, is we want these to be straight all the way through. We don't want this crazy bend that we're getting here. Can we use as mask? I mean, we could connect that to the mask, but it doesn't seem like it does a whole bunch. Oh, we could use the Netflix thing as a mask. I mean, we could try, but I don't know how well it would work. this is, here we go. So if we soften this out, here we go. I think we're getting there. So we're starting there, and then we can just push this up. And let's see. So I'll expand this up just a little bit. Because I'm going to try and go for the same shape that we have here. So I should also, to be fair, I should also size this down so that we can overlay it on top of our reference and we can actually see how well we are fitting this. So just for reference. Yeah, so this does need to be bigger. Which honestly, I might just do this in here. And then adjust our tracking a little bit. Adjust our layout. And then obviously it looks like our size is going to be the big differentiator. We'll pull our X size up as well, right? So we're adjusting both of those. Yeah, so we could in theory use a mask, but I don't know how well that would work. I'm also going to, okay, so if I want my tracking down a whole bunch, then I need to make sure that these are not touching each other. And because we want our size to be relatively consistent, I'm going to bring this down. I think we can afford to increase the size a tiny bit. And then here we go. Yeah, okay. So we are now sized properly. Now let's adjust our ellipse. We need to make sure as well, you know what, let me just disconnect the displace right off the bat. And we'll make sure that this is sized up properly. So I think we can actually make our Y size slightly bigger. We'll make the X size a little bit bigger as well, just so that they're touching the bottoms here. Now, when we connect to our displace again, right, this should be easier to work with. And in our displace controls, right, I want to warp this up. I want to bring my soft look at that. I want to bring my soft edge up a fair amount, but let's bring the Y refraction down. So we're going to need to find a balance of keeping our edges down, but pushing the rest of it up. So I think we're going to do something like this. Yeah, there we go. We're getting it. Look at that. Damn, that's not bad. So let's move this down slightly. Let's change our shading color. That is not too shabby. Honestly, the only thing I'm really noticing is it does look like it might be it does look like it might actually be bent slightly, like as an image. And so the reason I'm saying this is because you can see the dimensions of the E don't change, and ours, this gets slightly smaller. So I'm kind of like, let me see if I increase light power, will that do anything? Or spread? Ooh, if we increase the spread. Oh yeah, good point. Wasn't even looking at the Netflix. There we go. Thank you, project. I completely blanked there. Let's readjust this, shall we? Let's recenter that. Let's adjust our opacity. I was wondering, I was like, this is not fitting as well as I thought it would fit. And then we can increase our tracking. Oh, well, Resolve did not like that. Let me double check to see if it's still running. Okay, DaVinci's not running. Here we go. We're starting back up. We're gonna get this. We are so close. We're so close. There's like a few details, and then it's just doing the animation. Yeah, Resolve will do that to you every now and then. Let me move things over here so that I'm not giving away all the new cool videos we're doing. I got what GPU you got? I got a 4080 project. That's what we're running with today. Let me move the chat up so it's more eye level with you guys. Yeah. So, okay. So now let's take a look at this again. So displace, do. Oh, and let me, there we go, pull this over. Netflix. So now let's move this back up. And I will fade this down. Now I'm saving this time so it doesn't accidentally fall off, or it doesn't do anything crazy. And then let's adjust the tracking on that. Let me move this, or because this is going on top. I'm gonna add a color corrector node so that I don't have to save my color. Just change this to like green. There we go. So now I can see a little bit more what's on top, what's on bottom. There we go. Netflix. And so now let's adjust our displace once more and adjust our ellipse. So if we push this up, yeah, we're just pulling the bottom up there. And our E, let me merge this over again. Yeah, that's pretty good. And it's just like the spacing. The spacing of our characters is really all that is left to do. And we can adjust that. Where's my... I just noticed the music stopped. Let's put on something a little bit more upbeat, shall we? Let's go bam, bam. Here we go. Okay. So now it's a simple matter to just make all those necessary adjustments. All the adjustments that are going to allow us to have the best, most awesome. Here we go. most awesome Netflix title ever. It's weird because like the N is a little bit further than the E, the T, the F, like everything. Okay, so maybe let's try changing our anchor. V justify, let's put that there. H justify, blah 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 blah. So here we go. Now, okay, so now we're moving things based off of where the F is. So if I'm increasing the tracking or decreasing the tracking, so now it's the N. Okay, so the N is ever so slightly, the N is ever so slightly off. Keep going. Of course, Ash, you know we've gotta. We're so close to getting this. It's literally, it is just the N. So what we might do, the N, it's obviously, or it's honestly not that bad. Because we could just, let's see. What happens if we change our H anchor to here? We move this all the way over, and we do it all based off of the N. Let's see. Okay, yeah, so it's the same thing. If we do our H anchor to the right, we move this over, and we do it based off of the X. What do you guys think? Is the X slightly better than the N? I feel like the X is slightly better. I also think we can pull our shading up maybe a little bit, just to cover everything a little more. Dude, something like that. What do you guys think? What's AutoCap? For what? What are we talking about? Decrease the music sound? Yeah. All right, I got you. There we go. Here we go. That's also really aggressive. Let's switch over. You know what? Let's do chiptune. Let's do chiptune today. Let's go here. Go arcade. No, wait, let's go pixel. Here we go. Speed boost. Boom. Open. Let's do this. I like this. Here we go. Okay. Hey, great work. I just don't want you to look at those silly views. Also would like some favor. Can you teach some text animation like the next level ones we use on like movie edits? Search on your AutoCap. DaVinci Resolve. What, auto? And you'll find search on your AutoCap DaVinci Resolve. I'm not sure. How do you convert subtitles to text plus? So I assume what you're talking about is like when you create a subtitle track. So let me get rid of displayed timelines here. I think I can add subtitle track. So a subtitle track is different from a text plus, right? I think I might be able to just drag stuff directly. No, I can't drag stuff directly into there. Yeah, subtitle track is going to be different. Oh, the auto captions. So auto captions is, let me see if I can find it. So there is actually a site for auto captions. DaVinci Resolve. Let me see if I can find it. Oh, auto subs. So this is typically, I think this is the one, auto subs. So automatic subtitles. This is what you can use if you're using the free version of Resolve. If you're using free version, this is good. If you're using Studio, then I think there's a way that you can automatically get subtitles in DaVinci Resolve. But this is a subtitle track. Right? You can add this onto here. Now I used auto captions. Let me see. Workspace, scripts. Yeah, I have auto subs. I don't know that I have. I don't know that I have auto captions. However, right, I've just been using my own stuff because I have, because I've got my own text plugin. So you could use the subtitle tracks, and then you can actually drag on all these different like text presets onto the subtitle track, and it will animate, if it's animated or whatever, each thing, right? So each like little bit of subtitles will get the same animations that you have. But there's a lot of ways that you can do. There's a lot of ways. No auto subs. Also with auto subs can change from subtitles to text plus. Interesting. So auto subs, as far as I know, is developed outside of, like, it's not a native Resolve tool, so that might have something to do with it. He might be using some kind of scripting or some kind of fuse to change it from a subtitle track to a text plus title. Use auto captions. Auto captions you should be able to. And that literally would be like, can I add in? Can I just add, here we go, add subtitle. So if I put a subtitle in here, and then I go to, just use this one, my test one. So you can see, you can drag a box right onto here. And then let me see. Yeah, so now, then you go into track. So you have caption, and then you have track. And so if you have anything that's animated, it should automatically put it on here. Right? So that is... Wait, did my... Okay, for a second I thought my playhead reverted back to factory settings. But yeah, so that's how you would apply animations. You can literally take any text plugin or any text template that you have, throw it on there. You pressed AI tools and auto transcript. Oh, okay. Auto transcript. Yeah, so I think that's what I remember. Like, or I know there's a way you can do that somehow. Okay, yeah. So you go into here, right click, AI tools, audio transcription. Yeah. Okay. So you want to turn that into a subtitle track. I don't think you do it from there. I'm pretty sure what you do is you create subtitles from audio. There should be, in like clip operations, there should be one to create subtitles from audio. I don't remember exactly how. But yeah, it is pretty straightforward though. Oh, it's timeline. Here, let's take a look. Timeline. Audio assistant. Oh yeah, create subtitles from audio. See, yeah, so that's it. And then you could apply those different animations on there. But for now, we are taking a look at how we can throw this on to here. And for some reason, oh, here we go. I was like, why aren't I seeing the actual subtitles here? It's because we were too early on in the clip. Here we go. You can also use AI Studio, AI subs as export. Yeah, you can export as a subtitle track too, which is really, really cool. I think YouTube even can do like auto dubbing for certain things now, which that'll be a game changer for especially if there's like a country where a lot of people want to know what you're doing, but they don't know how, or like they can't understand because of the language barrier. So like stuff like that will be like big game changer. And import auto subs and automatically import to auto subs, and automatically it will, but as a text plus. Yeah, so he's got to be using some kind of scripting tool to do that, right? So that's something he developed outside of Resolve that works with it, right? That's a custom tool. So I don't know exactly how it works. I would have to see the source file and then maybe play around with it a little bit to see exactly how he does something like that. Right now, let me see, how far down is this moved? It's moved to like a 0.3, a 0.37. Okay, so let's move this move this down. And what I'm going to do with our merge is I'm actually gonna, you know what, we'll take our merge. I don't think, let's see. Okay. So what we need to do now is adjust our properties so that we don't need the merge anymore, because the merge is what we're using to move this down. So I'm going to turn off the merge. Actually, no, I won't. Let's see. Yeah, okay. So we'll get rid of the merge for now, and we're just going to pull this down. We'll pull this down until it matches here, and then we're going to need to pull our ellipse down as well. So I'm taking a look. So we're meeting at the corner of the N and part of the E. So that is where we're going to need to be with our ellipse. Otherwise, we're not going to end up with the same result. Okay, it looks like we might have to do some more adjustments. Okay, let's bring this down a little bit more. Oh, we're almost there. Let me pull the color corrector back in just for the sake of being able to see stuff. Let's see. Never mind, you figured it out. Also, and to import, you don't use custom tools. You're new to DaVinci. Use everything basic. But yeah, that's typically how it goes, right? So yeah, don't worry about like doing all the crazy stuff just yet. Focus on, at least what I would recommend, you focus on the basics to start, and then as you slowly begin to need more and more tools, then let's see. Then it's good to learn them. Also, like I'm conflicted. I'm conflicted on like using plugins and using stuff. Are you out of here, project? All right, nice to have you in here. Thank you for tuning in. Hope to see you again. But yeah, I have a conflicted view on using plugins and stuff. At least if you're new, because there's certain things, like if let's say you're doing client projects, and there's something that you have to get done, but you have not learned how to use the tools yet. I can see using subtitles for that, or like using a plugin for that. But then, let's say I need to make some kind of custom solution, right? I'm going to have no tool knowledge. I'm not going to be able to create like something like this, for example. If someone's like, hey, I really want to do a Netflix title, but instead of it saying Netflix, I want it to say like DaVinci or something like that. Then, like I might have, 10 different plugins, and all of them might do something similar, but I won't know the tools, or I won't know how to use all the different nodes to create this, right? We wouldn't have been able to troubleshoot and, test out the S polygon. We wouldn't have, tested out the image plane and the Bender stuff, right? So you've got to have, I think everyone should have at least a decent handle on the tools that are native into the software, right? And then if you decide to go even further and make custom stuff, then like more power to you. But just relying on plugins, at least as a beginner, I think will end up being a major crutch later on. Especially like the higher up you get, the more custom that you get, then it becomes an issue. But if you're doing like, let's say I have like an agency, and we have like 10 different clients, and it's all the same stuff where they're like, oh, we need streams, we need our streams clipped down, or we need whatever. Then maybe you learn to like do one thing custom, or like something very basic that might work for them, and then you'd be okay. But if you're doing a lot of one-off stuff or a lot of experimentation like we are, then like you've got to know your tools. And even like the stuff I know it's all just mastering the basics. And then that's what's allowing us to do all this cool stuff. Okay, so we are in the home stretch. We're in the home stretch here. So I'm going to get rid of some of our other nodes here. I'm going to keep the spotlight on. We're going to keep the camera. Actually, I'll connect the spotlight there. We're going to start getting rid of all this stuff. We don't need any... Oops. Yeah, we don't need any of this except for... we'll keep the transform because I think we were going to keyframe that or something. Yeah, so we'll keep this stuff. So here is what we end up with. So we've got our 3D text into our render, got it as an image plane, which then I think we did again. We might actually be able to get rid of this. Image plane. Yeah, so I think we can straight up just get rid of this. Because the whole reason we were going to do that before was for the bender, which we no longer need. So now it's just text 3D, merge with our spotlight and our camera, render 3D into our displace. So now I need to make some more adjustments to this. We're going to size this up, and we are doing it from the X. We're using our X as our anchor here. So I'm going to connect this. And let's see, yeah. So we're using the bottom here. And then let me pull the blend on our merge down a little bit just so we can see. Okay, so we're basically on the edge here. Let's pull our tracking down ever so slightly. Perfect. Okay. So now we're back. Now we have everything set up. This is surprisingly simple when you think about it. Very, 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 very straightforward. So here's our Netflix title. Let's turn off our color corrector. And let's get rid of... Actually, we'll put this in here. We'll put just our color corrector, or just our displace into here. And then I am going to create the background really quick that I think we're going to need. We'll turn that into an image plane, and we'll connect it all together. And I think the way that we're going to do this, because we are displacing our text after it gets rendered out, we're going to put our background underneath it as another 3D layer. Let me think here. At the very least, we can create our background, and then we will add on an ellipse like this. So let's put this in here so we have our reference. Make this white, and for the sake of not having just like a transparency problem on the outer edges, I think what we'll do is we'll add in a black background. We'll merge the black over top of the white, and then we'll plug that into here. We're going to invert this so it's just like that, and you can see we have darker areas down here. It's more of a gray, and then in the center it's more of a white. So let's size this back out, match these up somewhat. I'm going to disconnect this just for a second, and I'm going to pick screen color of the center just so that we have a similar center color. Make me mode. I'm assuming you misspelled node. Don't worry, we're making all the nodes. We're making all the nodes, man. Don't worry. Okay. So let's push this out a little bit further. I think we're gonna want to crank our soft edge up a ton. I might even consider copying our background here. We're gonna do this, bring our brightness all the way up, and then let's increase the size here until we have something that's very similar. I think that's pretty good. And I think I'll even adjust the brightness of this just a tiny bit. So there's our background. There's our background for our Netflix composition here. So now I'm going to merge this underneath of the color corrector. So we're going to need another merge. This is going to go into the background input, which is the yellow one. This is going to go into the foreground input. That's going to go right onto there. So now there's the original versus ours. And honestly, it's not looking too bad. I think this actually has a tiny bit of extra red in it. So I'm going to push that up a little bit. And it's very, very subtle. You guys might not even be able to see it on your own monitors, but there's a tiny bit of extra red in the background. So we're adding that onto there. Let me make sure I have my YouTube window open so I can see when you guys are chatting. There we go. It was partially cut off. Okay, so this is what we're after. I'm just looking for any slight differences, because I want to make sure this is, I think this might be about as precise as we're going to get it. Now we need to move on to the actual animation, which is going boom, just like that. Really, really cool. And in our merge 3D, or in our text 3D, oh, that's looking a lot more like our reference. I actually like the blocky look a little bit more. You know what? Here, let's do this. Let's turn our color corrector back on. Let's throw our merge in here. And then let me pull the... I'll pull the tracking down a tiny bit because I want to keep that... I want to keep the extrusion up, because that's actually pretty darn good. Okay, toggle this back off. Boom, there's ours versus our reference. And I'm going to pull our displace ellipse up a tiny bit as well. Yeah, just because you can see this corner right here, I want to be a little bit more curved. Okay, so that should be about good. Let's pull this up a tiny bit as well. Just to pull up, we're going to match our T-bar size a little bit here. There we go. It's all about the details, guys. All about the details. The only thing that we can't fix, unless we are to get the exact text font here and figure out how they do it exactly, will be the slight difference in kind of the squish of the letters. Okay. Now we are ready to do our animation. And the way we're going to do this, and I'm going, here's something else I'm going to need to do. Okay. Something we're going to need to do, because we cast a shadow onto this background in the beginning, right? If we look at our reference, we do cast a shadow onto this background. I am going to take this background here and turn it into a 3D image plane. So let's remove that merge. And go image plane, because otherwise we're not going to end up with a shadow. We could still light our text, it just wouldn't do anything, which obviously is not what we want. So let's size this up. There we go, size that up to full. Boom. So now in our 3D viewer, we've got this, which is really, really cool. So I'm going to take our reference here. Obviously, we're starting off at 0. And we can see here, we change from white to red. So I'm going to quickly go into our shading tab. We're going to add a color here, or we're going to add a keyframe here, and we're going to go from white to red, so that when we're in 2D space here, we're going to go from white to red. Just like that. Boop, boop. And then I will want to enable lighting and shadows. Bam. Looking pretty good. Like, that's, jeez, that's pretty good. Wow. Like, you can see the exact pattern, right? When I'm looking at lighting, I'm looking for exact shadows. So when you're lighting something, a lot of the times you're not actually going to look at the light positioning, because you'll never get it perfect unless you know exactly, again, how it's done. What I'm looking at is the shadows, right? How long the shadows are, how far do they stretch, where are the shadows being cast, and that's going to tell me basically where the light is. It's kind of like reverse engineering an effect. Kind of like you can figure out where you came from by looking at the footprints that you took to get there. So, let's see. Let's do front, so I can see our shadows here, and then let's do this, so I can see our shadows in our reference. And then let me adjust these ever so slightly. Because I want my shadow on my X to be down a lot more, but I want the N to be further out. So let me increase that. Increase the cone angle overall. Do that. Let's do quadratic decay rate. Actually, no, we'll do no decay. Decrease cone angle just a little bit. And then, so here's how am I doing this? So it might be directional light, actually, because I'm looking at this. This is basically the same angle as the X. This might be, or if it's not a directional light, then it's very, very close. So let's try this. And then our directional light, we'll do like this. And let's change this back to perspective, just so I can see. Here we go, what I'm working with. Okay. Yeah, so this might actually be a directional light. So then in my displace here, let's see. Let me make sure that I have this correctly pushed out from... Okay, here we go. Yeah, I have this correctly pushed out. We might have to change our renderer then if we're not seeing our shadows. Okay, yeah, so we did... So for directional light, we do have to change to a hardware renderer. Let me see if I want these... Okay, yeah, so I'm going to keep RGB checked. I'm going to uncheck low and high quality. I don't think I changed this to anything. I don't think I really need accumulation effects. And I do want to fix the smoothness of this. Let me see here. Shadow density, because we don't want the kind of breakage that we're getting, where our shadow is kind of degraded. Shadow quality, shadow weight. Oh, let's try putting this at 25. Okay, that does nothing. Softness, constant, variable fast. Oh, that's interesting. That's not bad. I kind of like that. And you can see we don't have perfect shadows here, but you know what? I think variable fast might be the way to go. Look at this. Where is it? Which one is this on? This is on the NE. Yeah, variable fast might actually be the way to go. That's not bad. Wow. And then I think our shadow density, we're going to pull up slightly. Add some blue into it. A little green. Pull the whole thing up. Make it more like that. That's not too bad at all. And then I'm going to want ambient light as well for something like this. Yeah, just to keep the whole thing, nice and bright, but not too bright. And then for maybe for our background, let's see what happens if we bring this all the way up. Maybe we'll keep this all the way up, and then for our background, we'll bring up our background as well. But what we'll do is increase our ellipse size just so that we can match our reference slightly better. I think that's pretty good. There's a little bit more blue in here, I think, as well. Then green. I think the green gets pulled down a tiny bit. Interesting. Okay. Now honestly, I'm kind of a little conflicted on this. There we go. Okay, that'll be good enough. So we've got our ambient, we've got our directional. Why, hello again. Hello, Damien. How you doing? Welcome back. Welcome back. Today we're making Netflix. We're making the retro Netflix, which proved difficult than we originally thought, but once the solution was here, it honestly wasn't that bad. I think for the shadows as well, just for here. Actually, let me go to my text 3D for our specular color. Can I put this to like 10? Make it red. Let's see. That's not really doing anything. So let me set that back to normal. I'm just looking at in between here. I think the shadow color. No, I think it's not the shadow color. I think the directional light. The directional light might have just a tinge of like red or something in it. So we'll do something like that, and then here we go, and that'll be more authentic, even though it's not the exact. We're copying now the properties of this instead. Okay. So what I need to do because I'm copying, or because, actually, you know what, I think we should be fine. I was going to say, because I'm copying the animation or the properties here. Okay, yeah, so I'm going to need this to follow, or I'm going to need my ellipse to follow my text. Because otherwise, yeah, I'm going to need my ellipse to follow my text. So this is the keyframe right before everything happens. And so now let's go to our N. So, okay, how are we going to do this? Let's see. So this is when everything is straight back. So let's go follower, modifiers, all characters, and then we're going to go, I think, transform. Here we go. And then we're going to go back into follower. Then let's go, oops. Then let's go to translation. Oh, I'm in my image plane somehow. Here we go. So back in here, follower, transform, Z offset. Oh, that's interesting. So with the follower, with the follower, it looks like I cannot actually move it back from, So with the follower, I can't actually do, there's no like 3D animation in the follower. However, that doesn't mean we're giving up. Don't think for a moment we're not going to keep going here. So let's remove the follower. I think I have another idea on how we can do this, but I'm going to need a displace 3D, because really I just need to pull the letters in one direction. So if I have a rectangle, yeah, kind of like that. So I don't know why this is like that though. That's so strange. That's so weird. If I move this further over, weird. Okay, let me do soft edge. Oh, it's doing it for each letter again. Okay. How do I want to do this? Camera displacement, point to camera, doesn't really matter. Okay. So basically the whole thing was going to be we would pull each letter separately. And then from there, oh, you know what? Wait a second. We might still be able to do this because we have character level styling, which is really, character level styling is really, really weird. And what kind of keyframe do we have here? Let me see. Make sure that I don't have anything that I don't absolutely need. I have a path. Why do I have a path one here? I don't have anything. Oh, it's because I just added character level styling. Okay. I'm doing well. Hope you are as well. Good to hear. Good to hear. So character level styling and animate each letter. Exactly. So if character level styling works, with okay, if character level styling works with a text 3D, then we're golden. So let's see. So we're going, oh, we're just kind of starting on the screen, and then we're getting our letters coming out, and then they all move back. You know, honestly, this would be so much easier if it was If we could use the follower. Unfortunately, we do not have the follower. So, instead, we're going to do this. We are going to... I'm going to do this. And... Actually, you know what? I'm going to want all my other letters. Transform, shading. Oh, wait a second. Wait a second. We might not be able to. Damien, we might... we might not be able to at this. Let me see. Transform, shading. Oh, no. We might have to figure out something else. Because it does not look like there is a control for character level styling in 3D. Damn. Okay. So we've investigated. Wait, don't think see it. Yeah, I don't think so. I think you're right. So we're back to square one. We still got to figure out how to do this. We need to do... So here's the only other thing I can think of is... The only other thing I can think of is doing each letter individually. You have to instance it to regular text with CSL or something. Oh! Okay. Saw a tutorial. I think we can do that. However, let's give this a try. The only thing I'm thinking is, how am I gonna get the... Let's publish this. Can I still add character level styling after it? No, I can't. So if I add character level styling, then I cannot publish. But I can add an expression to here and then pin our normal text and then go to here and do that. And so now let me see if I... Okay, so now let's see if we can do this with our transform. No way. That's so weird. Wait a second. Let's try a normal text plus right here. Do this. Character level styling. Do this. Wait a second. Why are my options gone here? That does not make any sense. Wait a second. It's not making any sense. Maybe we do an offset. Wait a second. Yeah, why is my character level styling gone here? Wait a second. Shading, transform. Get rid of this. Clear all character level styling. Why? This should be available right now. I do not understand. In style options. Yeah, we are in select text. Oh, you know what? Wait a second. I need to do this. Bam. Okay. I was like, am I something wrong with me here? Okay. So let's try this. And right, set this to there. Right. We've got our displace here. And then, okay, so this works. Aha! Damien, you may be a genius. Dude, okay, we can do it. But, okay, so Yeah, select some of the text. Boom. Okay, so here's what we might... So we might be able to do it just with the follower then. So let's get rid of character level styling. Add the follower on. Transform, offset Z. And then, let me see here. Timing, text, transform. Okay, let me add a keyframe here. And then go to here. Go to follower. Offset Z. Oh, no, wait, I did that wrong. Sorry, okay. I was thinking something completely different. Okay, so set this to 0. Go to here. Set it again. And we're gonna go to here, make sure that this is 0, because that's how character level styling is. Okay, look at that, Damien. We are in business. We're in business. Nah, not me, Tutorials XT. Hey man, the tutorial knowledge is coming in clutch. And I would not have known without you, so thank you. Okay, yeah, look at this. That's awesome. It's strange that they don't just have this as something you can do. Okay, let's get started. Here we go. So we're gonna need our reference, and we'll be using this then. So we are, here we go, frame 14. We're gonna add an offset. We're gonna do this. Make sure this is set to 0. Go to our displace. Go here. And oh, you know what? I want a keyframe here as well. That's 0. Oh no, I'm gonna want this. This to be 0, where I have just the N, and I'm gonna want the rest of these down. Or, let me think here. Yeah, because I'm gonna want just the N. If I go into my displace 3D, I put our image plane on. Okay, we're gonna need this extruded much further. We're gonna go for like a 0.4. Let's see. No, we're gonna go even further. Ready? Let's do 1. Okay, that might be a bit much. That's hilarious. Let me adjust our center back just a bit, just so that we don't have a problem with the shadows being behind it. There we go. Yeah, that's kind of more what we're going for. And I think this is about how far we're gonna want it. We'll have to work a little bit more on our shadows afterward. But yeah, this is it. Boom. And looks like it's not that far out. So then let's go a few more frames. Get this further out. Let me bring the delay down a bit. So now we've got the E. Let's go back to our transform. And then I think we're gonna need to keyframe our delay now as well. To bring the T and F in. Oh, look at that. That's going perfect. And then I. And then, let's see. And then the X last. So we'll put 2 more keyframes here. Actually, you know what? I can get rid of this keyframe. And, oh, you know what? Here's what we'll do. Yeah, we'll keep the keyframe that was here. We'll get rid of this one. We'll go right before the X was here. And then we'll increase the... We'll increase the delay until the X is just gone. Okay. And so now... I'm going to want this out. So I need to look at the furthest point that this moves out, which is right here. So I'm going to add another keyframe, move this like way, way out, because if we look at our reference, yes, sir, the extrusion. So if we look at our reference, right, I can see the shadows, and then I can also just gauge how far this is coming out. So I can see like this is our last keyframe. And then we start moving back in. And I think right here is where we go from having some delay to having no delay. So I'm going to go here, and I'm going to go here, and now I'm going to put my delay to 0. And I'm going to want to make sure that this is all kind of smoothed out. Let's see. Oh, and it does look like there is a little bit of a... it does look like it is like bent. It does look like there is a bender 3D, because this is not... this does not extrude out that far until the very end or something. Let's see. Maybe, wait, maybe it just needs to be smoothed out. If I go into our spline editor here, take a look at how janky, yeah, look at that, how janky our keyframes are going to be. I'm going to make this linear, and I'm going to smooth that out. I'm going to smooth that out as well. I'm going to make this linear, and now let's take a look. It's not bad with how the letters are moving. So let's play this back now. Boom, boom. Okay, and so that's part 1. Now we need to... This needs to start moving back basically as soon as it hits that back keyframe, which I think is right here. Yeah, then it needs to start moving back right to here. And it's basically, it's going to go all the way down. So we're going to do the same thing with our offset. And before we're there, we're going to want still shadow. Boom. Boom. Just like that. Yeah. Not bad at all. I might even need to size this up a little bit. Or you know what? Let's check our overlay to see how big this is. So that's our original. This is ours. Ours is a little smaller. Hey, there's some beveling, I think, as well on there. We can add some beveling in. So ours is a little bit smaller. So we're going to need to adjust that as well with the overall offset. I think what we might do is we'll bring the extrusion. We'll do some adjustments with the extrusion. Wait, how are you getting the shadows in DaVinci? Did you set a light source like that? Yes. So here's what you are actually seeing is all of our letters coming out in 3D. Pretty cool stuff. So we've got where is it? We have a directional light, which is right here, and that's what's pointing down. And then we also have an ambient light to keep everything relatively bright. So let's see. So yeah, I just need this to be generally bigger. So let me go to the keyframe right before we shrink back down and take a look. I don't have the size down, do I? No, it's just, wow. It is just actually like smaller. Maybe I move the camera up like that. Let's bring our blend down a little bit. Let's move the camera. Maybe the camera is what's going to do the majority of our animation here. Let me zoom in more so I can see exactly how this is moving. Okay. Here we go. That's not bad at all. I don't dislike that. Boom. It's pretty good. And then, bam. So now, we'll need to obviously make some adjustments to our animation because we really did size this up a ton. So, back in our viewer here, let's go to our offset. Bam, bam, that's good. I'm gonna want a bit of a stronger offset. And then that's okay to be down like this. Oh wow, that just... Wait a second. Wait a second here. I know what's going on. This curve... this curve is not supposed to be here. Well, that's sick. Thanks for explaining. Hell yeah. Yeah, always happy to share the Resolve secrets. Okay, let's flatten that out. Flatten this out. Or, you know what, let's make this linear. Let's make that linear. And then we will... Oh. And we'll straighten that out. Bring this in. Here we go. So after this is like this, I'm going to need, I think, another keyframe. I'm not sure. I might need to soften this out and then have this like drop, or like be kind of linear. Let me see here. Okay, let's give this a little test. Smooth out some of our keyframes a little bit. And then I need this to like drop down basically. So we're coming out. Whoa. And that just needs to fly back in. So we're going to have to make some more offset adjustments to figure out exactly what positions we want when and where. So that's good, that's good. Maybe we can adjust the delay a little bit. Yeah, like that. Want this like that basically, and then let me throw on another album here, and then we want our I'm gonna want to make another adjustment to our offset, I think. And then again to our delay, just because we're trying to match the shadows here. And I think that's about as close as we're gonna get. Let's see, we want this to lengthen, but not that fast. So let me push this out. See how exactly it is that this is moving. That's our delay. So maybe the delay I want to bring up still. Okay. Yeah, that's not bad. So there's our delay a bit. I just found your channel because of this stream. I'll go watch every video and tutorial after this because I had to use Blender. Oh my goodness, dude. You are, dude, you're a G. Blender is crazy, man. Side of the letter N is showing a bit too much. Yeah. So I'm thinking of doing like a bevel or something, or adding a little more of like an ambient or something. I think you have to warp the perspective a bit. Focal length of the viewport. Yeah. So like to make it more, kind of more like this, so that it's actually, no, wait, because the thing with the N is the sides are just very what's the word I'm looking for here? The sides are very neutral, right? Like the sides really are not doing a ton. Can I go to my shading? Ooh, never mind. If I do this, specular material, specular intensity, bevel material. Yeah. So this is what I think this guy is using, or whoever made this. I think this is what they're using for their bevel material. And then let's see, can I? Oh, I'm in the wrong one. Huh. Okay. Yeah, and they can actually adjust it. This is what I was after. Okay, this is what we were talking about earlier. So, do that. And then blur that down a little bit. Let's see. I think theirs is softened just ever so slightly. Like it's almost the same texture as... Wait a second, I can just do this. Yeah, it's basically like that. Sided leather end, yeah. We're trying to get that. There we go. That kind of fixes it. Now let's actually add on a little bit of a bevel. Bevel depth versus bevel width. I think we're just going to want a tiny bit of each. If even, yeah, like barely anything of each. Oh, I think we'll need to bring this up a tiny bit as well. And then smoothing angle is not going to do much for us, it looks like. But yeah, so... Yeah, it is a bit weird, isn't it? Now if I turn, let me see if I turn bevel off completely. Yeah, that's not bad. I don't hate that. I think it's not bad. See if I can make it a little bit closer to what we see on screen, where it's like barely, like it's barely not the same color. Kind of like that. That's not bad. And then let me see if I can adjust specular a bit. I don't think specular actually is going to do much for us right now. I think it's going to be a material color. So because the whole thing does kind of blend, right? That's not bad. Yeah. Use a color picker maybe? I think it's missing the X glow. Pizza, I think you're right. I think we just gotta add one of these in here. I have pizza, I have way too many frames. I have far too many frames. I think that's much better. Even when I pull the fall off up, it's all gone. It's all gone, pizza. All right, we're getting rid of the X glow. Okay, so yeah, we're not doing bad here. We'll adjust the materials afterwards. I want to get the animation down, and you can see we need our displace ellipse to follow the same positioning that we have here, because right now it's not, and it's making us look kind of silly. So let's do something like that. Push this up a bit, kind of like that. Let's see, we can get this a little bit more. I don't hate it. I don't hate it. I think how far do I want to push this? Let's see, what did I have this at before? I had this at 0.4. And I need this to really get pushed up a ton. Kind of like that. And I just kind of need the curve on the ends here. So, okay, I see our problem. I know what our problem is. So I need to push this up more than I'm pushing the rest of this stuff. So that means this needs to come even further up. As I'm pushing this, as I'm pushing the edges here, I need to be pushing the center up. Looking good. Which is which? So here's our reference. Our reference is on the right. Ours is on the left. So if I merge these over top, actually, this is what I should be doing. So here's the reference as it moves back down, and you can see ours needs to be pushed up a lot more. So honestly, it may just be better to have the displace, right? Bring our displace Y refraction up. Yeah, kind of like that. And so now you can see ours is starting to look better. But yeah, back to the animation part, because that is what is going to make everything look all nice and fluid. And a lot of this really is just about like getting that animation down. So our blue is our delay, which, what is our delay doing? Oh, it's going to -2, which honestly I think the lowest I'll bring it would be 0. Maybe we can have it be just 2, so it flattens out. And then we can bring this down, kind of bend it up like that. Use 2 ellipses, one for the base arc and another for the apex in the middle. Yeah, I was kind of thinking that might be the way to do it. We might have to double up. Do you have a command for your reference video? I do not. I just have a piece of media, and we're doing this on the piece of media, so it's just imported. What timeline are we in, or what resolution, what frame rate? We're just in the 60 FPS frame rate, and we're just going for it. So, yeah, I need you to feel the sync back down. So the full, and I think for that, I'm going to need these to come out even further. So what we're doing right now really is just a lot of like fine tuning. So I think our light, because our shadows stay the same. Like, this continues expanding. Okay, I see what's going on. So even as it's receding, so this is slowly receding. It doesn't, so it's kind of an ease. Okay, so let's get rid of the delay. So this really, really slowly eases in, and then it just like, and then it just drops down at the end. I meant like a chat command, so I don't have to go to Google for the right one to see what it looks like. Oh, let me see. Actually, I'll have the name somewhere. Let me see if I can just find it, or this should be. Let me see. Find in media pool. So this. Let me pull this down so I can actually see what we're looking at. Oh, Netflix logo variations. So that's what we're looking for. I'll put a link to it right now. Netflix logo variations. So here we go. Netflix logo variations. I'm gonna link it in here. Boom. A few times I work on stream. I like to upload the draft on unlisted and make a command for it so people can see what we're working on. Okay, that is a good idea. I should do that. I should definitely do that. I'll have to figure that out. Okay, so we'll revisit the ellipse thing, the ellipse idea. So let's watch this back. Yeah, look at that. That's already looking much better. I'm looking at this like really, really close. Pause the music, stop the music. We gotta focus. We gotta focus in on this. So it's really shrinking down. So we might have a little bit less of a delay. Let's see, this comes up. And so the end should already be going down a little bit from what I'm seeing. So the end should be down like this. And then I think I'm more or less going to want something like that. The only difference is I think this stretch. I think I need the stretch right here. Yeah, I think that might be it. Oh. Come on. So this is shrinking down already. Okay, yeah. All right, here we go. For the font, the end is too wide. Sorry. Yeah, no, that's I know. We're not gonna get it. We're not gonna get it exact, right? But we're just aiming for as close as we can get it, right? And so we still need to do the final animation to shrink everything down, right? So here's our reference, here's us. We still need to shrink our text down. But our reference, right, our text is a little bit taller, and a little bit like the N is going to be a little bit more scrunched. We could use character level styling to make an adjustment to that. We might actually do that. Let me see. Let's see here. Can I do... Let me do just the N. And adjust our size. Oh, wait. Can I add character level styling on this at the same time? I cannot. Can I insert character level styling at the same time? Let me also do this so I stop getting messages on stream. Sorry about that. Here we go. Turn that off. Can I insert character level styling? I can. Okay. Let me do just the N now. Let's go to shading and scrunch our size in just a little bit. Now this might break things ever so slightly. Honestly, that's not bad. That's us. That's our N from our reference. Here's the thing as well. I'm going to need to move this over a bit. Hey, Tropical, how you doing? Turn on the transforms. Can I turn on the transforms on edit page and click the preview window to drag or zoom? You can also auto-select things instead of click on the layers in the timeline. Yeah, should be able to add it to your other modifiers input. Surely stacking the two janky modifiers will work. Oh yeah, that's always how it works, right? You put the two janky modifiers together and they work seamlessly. They work flawlessly every time. That's how it always works. Anyone who tells you otherwise, they just don't know what they're talking about. Oh my gosh. Dude, that's... Oh my goodness. Look at what we've created here. I might, in the shading, I might have to... we might have to do something like this and like add some extra thickness onto just the one. Let's try. Let me see if I can do it just from there. I think I can. Let me go to shading element 2. Oh, that's weird. Oh, never mind. There we go. I'm seeing it. And let me see if this is actually having any kind of effect. It is not, which is weird. Do I have this turned off? No, I don't. Interesting. Anyways, we're gonna leave this off for now. Let's focus. Okay, I keep getting distracted. Back to the animation. So that the N is starting actually to bug me because now it's like it is so thin on the end there. I'm gonna change that back just for now at the very least. And I'll go into size. We'll set that back just for now. If we need to make any last minute adjustments, right, we can do that, but right, it's not going to be perfectly exact. However, it might fool a lot of people. Right, the whole point is to get it as close as we can, but I am aiming for consistency overall. So, we're going to aim for that. I want to see how close he gets, yeah. What if you do it in your distortion step? Yeah, that might be another option here. I'm gonna revisit that after the animation because I do want to make sure that I get this all proper. This is so... Okay, that's our offset. We're gonna do this, we're gonna do this. And let's see what we're looking at now. You go out of here. Okay, not bad. I'm more glad that we got the lighting very close as opposed to getting the... Where is our shadow density? I have my shadow density, I think, over here. Shadow map size. I'm curious, what does that do? Oh, it freezes resolve. That's what it does. I'm going to set that back to normal. Shadow density. Turn that up. Add a tiny bit more blue in there. Bam. Okay. I'm glad we got the lighting down more than anything. Because lighting is a huge, huge portion of selling the effect. Okay. I don't have high quality and motion blur on. Let's see. Let me turn my playback resolution down a bit. I think. Not bad. Yeah. It's the shrink back down. That's what we're missing. We're missing that whoop. This is not it's not shrinking enough. That's the problem. So let me go back to here. So even though the shadows are shrinking. All right, let's do this. We're going to add a transform 3D. We're going to put it... Oh, actually don't need a displace here anymore. Put a transform 3D there before everything. And here's the thing. I'm pretty sure if I scale this down... Oh, never mind. If I scale it down, we keep everything. That's cool. I thought it was going to end up behind our background. But alas, we are lucky, lucky, lucky. I'm also going to go to our keyframe for our offset in follower. And I think I can get rid of character level styling for now. Oh, wait. Apparently we don't want to get rid of character level styling just yet. Okay, go to the follower. There's our offset. Boom. Let's bring this back even more. So we're pretty much about as flush as we can get. And let me check my image plane. I think the image plane is just straight up. It's hard to tell with YouTube. Does it have a tiny bit of bevel so it catches? Yeah, it has a tiny bit of bevel. We introduced just a little bit of bevel, just a tiny bit right here. I think what I'll do for that is we'll do this. We'll go boom, boom, and then because everything is basically 2D, we'll get rid of the bevel in the very last frame. So let me now go back to here because we introduced or because we took away some of our depth with our bevel with the extrusion, and make sure I'm in the right node here. Modifiers, transform for the Z, and pull this back. There we go. So it's flush with that. Boom. That is it. right there. So now we can focus on doing the size. So I'm just gonna do that, and we can take a look at now our keyframes here. Boom. And let's see which one's us. So this is us. This is our reference, and everything's looking pretty good. I think we're pushed out even a little bit further, even though the lighting, like the shadows, are hitting around the same area. I also am fairly confident that we're using a spotlight in our reference instead, because the shadows are different. The shadows don't push out as far. Either that or the X. It might be that the X is not pushed out. The X was not pushed out all the way. What if you animate the lighting out instead of making it perfectly flush? As in, animate the shadow opacity to 0. Don't really know anything about 3D Infusion. I was thinking about that, yeah. Like, because we could very well... Oh. Wait a second. What did I... Oh, I accidentally disconnected that. Because we could very well... We could do that. The only thing is, we're still going to need to shrink it down after. So, I think we'll be killing kind of two birds with one stone here. Let me try if we get rid of the directional. Well, if we get rid of the directional light, what happens if I change this? Nothing. Smooth, flat. I'm getting caught in the weeds here. So, when we're shrinking this down, so here's our reference. We see the exact point where we're shrinking, and we really start to shrink. Okay, right here, frame 30. So I'm gonna get my transform. We're gonna put a keyframe there. Then I'm gonna go like that. Pull this down, and then where is our keyframe for changing our color? Right there. So now shrink that down to here, and then let me go into my spline on our X scale, and I'm probably not going to I'm wondering for the animation, because we do continue to shrink down until what, about like right here. You can see where we stop, about like right there. If I add another keyframe, I move this down even further, then I will need to make an adjustment. Let's see. So there's us. There's our reference. So us, our reference. Our reference is a bit further down. I'll have to use the transform 3D to move everything a little bit further down as well. Which I'm not opposed to, right? We're just getting this done. So go to our Y, pull that down just a little bit. Then we end up with this here. The only thing I'm concerned about is our keyframes fighting each other. So that's Y offset. I don't need to worry about that. Here's what I'm concerned about, which is because this is flattening out. Weird. Let's see. Yeah, the scene on the right is the original reference with the underlaid. Yeah, you see the difference down and to the left. Yeah, so we still need to be down and to the left. I think a bit. Actually, you know what? I'm pretty sure this is going to come from matching our ellipse up. So let's start on that. Because unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on what side of this you're on, so there's us, there's our reference. We're matching. I think I know what's going on. So our ellipse is pushing everything up. Yeah. There we go. Easy peasy. So that's what was going on. There we go. That matches infinitely better, where it's actually laying on top of everything. So now I can go back into the transform. I can change the overall value ever so slightly and move that up a tiny touch. And now it's just going to be a matter of smoothing out our keyframes. So let me get rid of the Y offset. Let's work on our scale first and see how this affects. Yeah. Pull this out. Make the animation a lot smoother. Excuse me. Sorry. Make the animation a lot smoother. There we go. And yeah, that's like, we're getting really close. So let's actually look at them side by side. Turn this all the way off. And zoom this in a little bit. Okay, here we go. First draft. Okay, it's not bad. I need the, I think the shadows are throwing me off ever so slightly. I'm looking at the shadows. I think the shadows are, so it's on, off, the shadows are, the animation's not bad. I think I need the same rules for my transform that I need for or that I have already for the follower, which is I need this to be more extreme, and then I'm gonna have to bring in this. Yeah, that's what I was like, something's not quite right. That's really close. The transition to 2D has a little less impact. Yeah. So I'm going to size these up a bit. Go. Let's see, do I get the full? I want to keep the full thing in the picture. Pull these in. It's pretty good. I mean, let's see. Just comparing some notes here. And I think what I'm going to do at the very end, because this is technically supposed to be a 24 frame animation. So what, 2.4 times speed is what gets you from 24 to 60, or 2.5 maybe. So if we're slowing this down, well, we can frame repeat. Every third or every second. Sampling variation. Ooh, what will that do? So I think we're shrinking down No? Let's see. So we start shrinking a little bit faster in our reference. Where it's, yeah, the N is already basically shrinking as all the other stuff is moving. So let's see. And I did completely forget about that the N kind of is doing its own thing, or like the follower still has to take place. So I think what I'm going to do is maybe make our follower character offset a little bit more. Maybe this was it. S. Set this to be kind of more like that. And if it doesn't work, after the 3D rendered, how are you distorting the 3D text after the render? So after we do the render 3D, we're just using a displace with an ellipse. That's all, which is really, really cool. Because what we were struggling with was, again, having the top right there being straight, having this be curved. A problem for the generations, good sir. A problem for the generations. I don't necessarily need this spotlight. Yeah, so this is already, it's already moving back. That's what's going on. So maybe we go to the transform, we put the keyframe here. Wait a second. Yeah, we put a keyframe here. On our scale, sorry, not on the Y offset. Then we're going to go here. We're going to pull that down a bit. We'll shrink our offset, or we'll shrink our scale down by a little. So it's already starting to pull in. Yeah, that's a little better. And then we can do something like that. Team side by side. And then I'm still going to want that extremely aggressive impact at the very end. So, like, this is really, like, this is moving a lot faster than ours. I might even have to put the scale back more, just so that I can get more movement. We need more movement faster. And then, let's see. Pulling back. Yeah, it starts, like, basically right away. Like, it is. And it's delayed still, too. Wow. So maybe what I need is more delay. I wonder if you could distort the actual 3D text with an S text and extrude. Oh, damn. Was that actually what... Oh, look at that. S text. I was wondering. I was like, I know there's a way to do 3D text somewhere. But I was like, how did I do this before? Using the S shapes. The S shapes I don't use, like, ever. So when it comes down to when I actually have to use them, or when I'm actually trying to make things 3D, yeah, then I run into a memory gap. Let me quickly try something. Let me see. I just want to see if I can, because I had this issue with, yeah, where it would affect each letter individually, which is why we ended up doing the distortion or the displace at the end. We can we'll revisit that after. Oh, let's see, the letters are also appearing slightly faster and getting slower towards the end somehow. They're a bit neglected. Yeah, the S shapes, the S nodes are a bit neglected, but they're really, really useful. Let's jump back into here. So, yeah, our letters are appearing a little bit faster. I think it might have to do with the delay, because we're matching our keyframes up almost exact. Let me go to here and let's take a look at this. This is our delay, I think. So let's go to the delay. Shading, timing, delay. Now if I get rid of this, I go to the next one. There's the T and F. So I could do something like this where it's more linear or something like this maybe. Let me see what that looks like. E is still in, T, F. Then our L is kind of delayed. So let me pull this down a bit. And then, because originally I was going for the lighting, to get the lighting a little bit closer. But let's see. So our L comes in on frame 22. We're coming in on what? Frame 24. So pull my delay down a little bit. Here we go. E, and then T and F is what we're getting here. So we can guide that. L, I, where's I gonna be? I's gonna be right here. Group objects, they're a bit group objects. Oh no, the S shapes. The S shapes are what at least that's what I've been neglecting. And then where's our X? X is right here. This is gonna look so strange. Yeah, look at that. The weird ripple that we're getting of the letters now going whoop. That's because of the delay I have here. So I'm gonna hit S on these, kind of flatten them out a little bit. See if I can get a smoother animation here. Yeah, because what's happening is I'm ending up with like almost a little bit of jitter. You're seeing? Where they're kind of moving in and then catching up, and then the T is moving away again. And I think that is what is throwing off the way the motion looks. So I think what we're going to have to do is pull this in. And I'm going to pull in, here we go, pull that in. Get rid of that keyframe. And then I'll lift this up a tiny bit. Angle it down. And then I'm going to pull this keyframe in just a little bit. Because again, I'm not going for exact. I'm going more for the smoothness than anything else. Let's see. Does that fix the problem where they all distort individually? Oh, grouped objects. I'm not sure. We'll have to take a look at that. We can take a look at that in just a moment. Let me see. Okay, this isn't bad. I'm not mad at this. Now let's see what it looks like. Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot smoother. Even if our letters are not perfect. I think what I really need is the pullback to start much faster. Let me go to character offset. Even if the pullback is not happening right away, I just need it to show faster. But I am going to shift it over, smooth this out, so that it's not going up and then going back. So I need to pull our handle of our keyframe in, give this a little more impact, like an impact frame. Here we go. And I think honestly we're gonna want this just to start going right away, because literally there's like a 1 frame difference between this moving in and moving out. So it's like goes out 2 frames and then back in right away. So let's see, where are we going? We're going out. So this is starting to move back in on frame 22. Frame 22 again. We really start seeing it at like frame 35. So where are we looking? How are we looking for our character offset? That's frame 35. Damn. So we see X offsets. Is there any way I can? It doesn't look like there's a way we can really harshly pull this in. Mostly what I can do is pull my animation handles, right? The handles of our spline in a little bit. There has that indirect lighting on the side of the end. I'm not exactly sure what you're talking about, Pizza. However, I am open to exploring it. So, let's see. This comes out. Shadows look all right. They kind of shrink back in. Honestly, the lighting isn't bad. And then when it finally pops in, it is kind of, it's a little bit more dramatic right at the very end here. So I'm going to pull this up just a tiny bit. So in these final couple frames, we get a little bit more of that dramatic pull. Boom. Just like that. Boom. And boom. Boom. It really does move fast at the... Jeez. It really does move fast here. I'm looking at still. I'm still astounded by that, by the movement. How it's already moving backwards so fast. So just the Y. Oh, the Y offset. There we go. That might be it. I might have been wrong the entire time, as we may be saved here. is it moving down as well? Or what happens if I move this out? Oh, never mind. The Y offset is not what's affecting us. I thought we had just made some groundbreaking discovery. Alas, not a chance. However, let me see what this looks like against our reference. Ah, that's not bad. That might work. We're kind of playing in not no man's land, but we're almost at the end here because of, maybe I just do this linear. See what that looks like. Nope. I gotta smooth that out at least a little bit. And then see what it looks like against this. Kind of popping. What do you guys think? Let me know. Let me know in the chat. What do you guys think of our animation overall? I'm trying to see if there's any discrepancies here. I think this one shrinks a little bit slower, which, I mean, we can work with that. With the X scale. Yeah. So with our X scale, that issue is solved here. Yeah, there we go. So slowly shrinks in. Boom. I think what really what really helps with the impact is how fast the shadows move. So maybe what we'll do to help out with that is I'm going to keyframe the rotation of my directional light a little bit to keep the shadows a little bit longer. There we go. We'll do something like that. Oh, actually, you know what? This might be part of what we needed to do the whole time, because the direction is also changing as we go along. So, kind of something like this. Expand it out. This way. Let's see. Then it goes in. Whole bunch. Then it's into here. So we go out again. Even further. And so now I need to do my directional light rotation as well. Smooth all of these out so that they are not, so that they're not all crazy. Which, yeah. But I think instead what I'm going to do is have this overall just longer like that, and then have it slowly go from there to here. And then we're going to do basically the same with the Y. Yeah, there we go. The only thing is, this means I don't actually have to bring... This means I don't actually have to bring the extrusion out as far, which is nice. Either that, or because I don't want to mess with the extrusion a ton anymore, what we could do, we're gonna do something a little janky here. Is we're going to get rid of this in between one. Pull this in. Yeah, I'm not sure how much I like that. Might have to pull this like way out in order to make it less noticeable. One, two. This will have to move kind of more over to the side. And then down. Let's see. Anyways, while we're doing this, what are you guys up to? What are you guys up to these days? What is going on in the chat? What is new and good with you guys? Hey bro, can you conduct live DaVinci Resolve motion graphics cohorts? I have lots of references. Let's do it for the DaVinci community all over the world. Live. So when you say the shadow's going too low, almost out of view, yeah. Quite the conundrum, eh? So I think what we're gonna have to do, honestly, is the extrusion method. Lots of references. Let's do it for the DaVinci community all over the world. Well, hell yeah! Like I'm here for it. Let's see, harsh hit or harsh hit photo work. Yeah, so in the Discord, I do have a preset suggestions or like a video suggestions area. Join the Discord, put everything in there. Working on a reaction YouTube video for someone currently. Okay, dude, reaction content. I don't even know what people react to anymore. Like, do people still do TikTok reaction videos? Because that was big. That was like big for a while. Now I have no idea what people are doing anymore. Okay, let's jump into here. Pull this down, and then hit S to straighten this out or to curve it. Let's do that. Smooth this out. I don't want this going up necessarily, so flatten that out. Now let's see. Okay. Ooh. That's not bad. That's not bad. I think our shadows leave a little bit before. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the directional. We're going back to the directional light. And I'm making both of these linear. And I'm going to smooth these out a little bit more. So Yeah, because I want these like, I want these far, far out. I can even do, you know what? Let's do something like this. Instead of linear, pull this curve way, way out. Then it starts moving in. I can even pull this down a little bit more. Pull this down a little bit more. All right, so now, you know what? Let me do this and do this. There we go. So that goes out, comes back in. Also, we lost our music. We got to throw the music back in here. Let's do these. Let's throw the favorites. The favorites on. Okay. Here we go. I don't know, man. Honestly, Discord seems so much more organized. The shadows are, yeah, the shadows are way better now. I think that's kind of what it was. The shadows were really helping with the impact, the speed of the shadows fading away. So going, whoop. I'm liking it. That's pretty darn cool. So I think what's left now is honestly just, let's see, which one is ours? This is ours. So we're on the inside. So what's left is where do we end here? Okay, so what is left is the actual ellipse warp. And so I'm going to make some adjustments here. And I'm gonna slowly change our ellipse so that we're staying relatively consistent throughout the entire thing. So let's see what we have left to do. So that's our reference, that's us. And I think this change that I'm making needs to happen, like in the ellipse, needs to happen basically when the red changes. So let me get rid of that. Let me do just height. And I think, let's make this linear for now, just to see what we are working with. That's reference, so we're the wider one. Yeah, I think that might have worked. So let's compare the two. And I'm also really looking at this curve a whole bunch. I think that having it curved like this might be good as well. Let me make that. Oops, didn't want to change that. Do the width. Have this be linear as well. And then that will smooth out to be let's see. Compare it to our reference, because we might be doing ourselves a disservice here. It's us. Our reference is the wide one. Yeah, so it turns out we do not want we do not want to change the width. Yeah, changing the width, not the play. And just to double check which one is us. We are... Yeah, we're pretty good. I think that's... Without going extremely granular, I think this is about how we're going to do. Neat looking. Let's see. I've missed a couple. Let's see. Oh, Discord has banned you? Why? Wait, our shit photo work. Why has Discord banned you? Vignette effect. Oh yeah, the vignette effect. We've got to touch that up a little bit. Thank you for reminding me. Thank you for reminding me, Goku. It's better to start working on DaVinci Resolve paid motion graphics cohorts. I mean live classes of DaVinci Resolve Fusion. Do the double ellipse for the center bit. It actually works. It's pretty close. Pizza Blue, neat. Yo, Pizza Blue knows probably the most about fuses that I have, from anyone I've met. Pizza Blue's insane, guys. Like, you want to know fusion stuff. Actually, I shouldn't be telling you to bombard him, but like, just keep an eye out. Keep an eye out for his shop. Like, Pizza has some of the coolest stuff I have seen in a while. Let's pull this out a little bit. Let's see. Do we want... Do we want to pull this all the way? Actually, wait. I need my reference in there. There we go. Okay. I was like, why is my mask so? Here we go. Do something like this. Oh, don't invert it. Actually, yes, invert it. Just realized. And then something like that. And I think we're about ready. I just don't like the... I think I want to soften it. I think I like the softer overall look. And then maybe for the background, we'll repick screen color. Actually, no, we're not even going to do that. We're just going to put it... Oops. We're just going to put it all the way to white. There we go. All right. I think we've got it. What do you guys think? I think this is just about it. Yeah. I just realized the reason I'm going like this is because my monitor was slightly off its axis. Here's what I'm gonna do, because left eye, right eye. I'm gonna go like this. You know what I am noticing? This one has the stop motion on it. Ours is smoother. So what happens if I put the stop motion on it? Put it to like 3, just to see, you know. Put it to 5. Go all the way. Oh wait, I just realized. Huh? We weren't actually showing it. Okay. Put it to 2. Let's try that. You know? It's not bad. I think I can darken... this ever so slightly. And add in a little bit of blue. A little bit of red. Maybe pull it down a little bit more. Stretch this out a tad. Pull that down. Boom. Okay. Let's see. Gotta wait for the webs. Yeah, we gotta wait for the website. Sorry, guys. I'm looking back and forth between chat. I keep getting sucked into this. Let's see. That actually works pretty close. Yeah, I'm eager for the website, man. YouTube needs to up their emoji game. True. Pizza Blue, what's your handle? I want to check out the work. Yeah, that's really close. I think Pizza Blue, you have your website right on your profile, right? Yeah, so click on Pizza Blue, go to his channel, hit more, and then go to his link. And then hit website. Really, really cool stuff. Close, it can pretty much fool anyone. Pretty much, except for us, because this is what we do. This is our bread and butter. Okay. So now I'm gonna let it play. Also, we've been playing this on half resolution the whole time. Let's up our resolution, let this correct itself. We're playing at 58. So we're dropping a few frames, but honestly, it's not bad. I just want to double check one last thing. How, oops, let me do this. What does this look like? That's ours. So it's just the X. Because this is good otherwise. Let's push it. Just a tiny bit. Just a smidgen. Push it up. And then I'm getting really, really picky about this now, but I think, oh, wait a second. Okay. I think we might actually have it now. This is the behind the scenes stuff you guys don't see. Type in Pizza Blue into YouTube search, he comes up first. Perfect. Wait, what happened to High 3D? I can only report or block when I click on him in chat. What? Wait. I don't have that problem. What? What is highly 3D? What is going what? Okay. So now, let me turn the merge all the way down. And put this on the right side. Okay, and now I'm gonna let this do it any caching it needs. I think, how long did that take us? 3 hours, 15 minutes. Wow. But that result is pretty worth it. I just need I want whatever change is happening here. Let me open up my spline. I want whatever change is happening here to, I think it's the height, right? It's the height we're changing. Not to happen quite yet. Because I don't want it to be super noticeable. Yeah, okay. We're almost there. I don't want it to be crazy noticeable. So I think here's what we do. Bring that in. Boom, like this. Let's see. And it's got to be like on the change, essentially. So like I'm almost tempted to move this a keyframe over, input the same value, get rid of that, twist this up, move this just like that, pull that in a whole bunch, and then let's see. Oh, never mind. Well, worth a shot, though. It was worth a shot. Okay. It's just so because, like, you know how they'll say you will always be the one who's the most critical of your work. I can see, you guys might be able to see this bend right here. Like I can see that bend that takes place right there. I can see that. And maybe I don't change anything in the displace. I think you made it more noticeable now. Yeah. So maybe we do that. Yeah, I think you're right, Goku. Also, welcome back. I think you've been here before, right? So, yeah, so what did we have? Oh, it was just smoother before. So maybe we pull it out a bit and then... Nope, don't pull it out. Okay. So... Let me see, am I changing anything here? Okay. So, there we go. So I think we've got it. Maybe I was just drawing too much attention to it. Maybe that was it. I'm like, how close do we have it? It's gonna fool most people, right? But just because I've made it, I'm looking for all the I'm looking for any inconsistency, but I think we've got it. Okay, that's pretty darn good. Let's quickly, just because you know we have to. Oh wait, this is just going to be linked, isn't it? Yeah. Okay, so I don't actually need a. Just to see. That's not bad. I think there is a slight difference now. Or the DaVinci is not as bent up. But I think that's just because of the way the letters are. If I put this back to Netflix. Oh, never mind. Okay, so we do need this up. So I think that's what it was. That's what the difference was before. There we go. And I can... Oops. Adjust this ever so slightly. Just like that. All right. Oh, we're bending down a little bit. That's what it is. So I need to flatten this. And I think that takes care of it. Okay. Let's see. Or is it the width that needs to come out? So the width needs to come out a little bit. And then if I go through this, let me add the width on as well. And double check to see. Yeah, I thought the left one was the original. It's quite something, isn't it? Left one is the original, the right is the reference. Yeah, no, the left one is ours actually right now. See if the left one's ours. So can make that like this. See, I'm confusing everyone now. And this is just me at this point kind of playing around with the keyframes. Seeing kind of what they have left to offer us. And I think this is... I think just that last minor adjustment might have been what we needed. So, damn, okay. Okay. That's pretty good. If I do this, yeah, if you don't know which one is which, then you're kind of, yeah, that's pretty good. Let go. Wait, I'm actually lost. What's being displaced is the curve. So we have the bottom. Oh wait, sorry, this one's ours. So we have the curve at the bottom here. It's straight on the top, slightly curved on the bottom, just like in our reference. So if I throw this up in here, right? Slight curve. Oh, it actually looks like our reference. Is slightly bigger than our... Slightly bigger than our original for a moment. So let me... Okay, there we go. So now, with both of these here... Yeah. Yeah, but it was the curve was what we were displacing. So it's a very subtle displace on the bottom here, and it's just pushing on the bottom of the word to make it bend. So pretty good. All right, okay, by the way, the original one doesn't have light on the top edges. Let's see. Yeah, that is true. We've got our bevel our bevel is slightly different. That is correct. Let me see. Shading, specular color, bevel material. Yeah, so that's this. I think that's about as close as we might get it. But yeah, every step will bring us closer, but I don't think it will ever be as exact as the original, right? Unless we know exactly what they're doing. But that's, you know what? I'll take that. Yeah. We're playing back at 58 frames a second. Boom. Not bad, not bad at all. I think I might brighten this one up a little bit. Bring the soft edge up. There we go. Just a little bit. Actually, no, I think I'm putting it back down. Okay. But yeah, that's that. So let's go over the final node tree, see what exactly we ended up doing here. I'm going to get rid of the color corrector. We're going to keep the text 1. Okay. Here we go. So we start off with our text 3D. Here we go. So we start off with our text 3D. We wanted to make our color red, of course. And then, yeah, so we've keyframed it from white to red. Damien came in clutch, suggesting we link our 3D text to our 2D text using, so we can use the follower and the character level styling on it. And it worked really, really well. Otherwise, this would have been much, much more difficult. So there's our 3D text. We use our transform to shrink it down a little bit more. So there's our shrink taking place along with our movement on the y-axis. Let me put this to front. Oh. Come on. Perspective. Front. I don't know why we are stuck in an orthographic view here. That's kind of weird. Yeah. All right, well, I'll just put it like this. So here we go. We got node 1, or maybe was it the, what if I do this? Weird. Oh, okay, I see what's going on. Okay, so anyways, let's go back to here. So we had text 3D. We linked it to our text 2D, then transform 1 to help with the shrink later on. We have, of course, our camera 3D to make sure everything stays well in view. We've got our directional light. We also have ambient light as well. We've got our ellipse with our background, or 2 backgrounds. Merge one over top of the other. Turn it into an image plane. Put our text behind, well, behind and in front of our image plane. Render that out, right? Add our slight displace. Add the stop motion on so that we are copying something that's, it's a 30 frames per second, but it's close enough to 24. And then, yeah, so there's our comparison. Netflix, how do I change this to just the 1? So there's our original, and let me just disconnect that, reconnect this. Here we go. So Control C, loop that. So this is us. Which, let me see, is this in 24 or this in 60? I kind of like it in the, yeah. Anyways, that's that. We've successfully made the retro Netflix intro in DaVinci Resolve. Yeah. GG Highly 3D. I think that's it. So it's been what? It's been 3.5 hours. So I think we're gonna call it here. The next video that we're doing is I don't want to say the true Netflix, but the next one we're doing is the new version of the Netflix intro that you see around more. This is a more advanced version of it, where we've got all the different colors. We've got some 3D animation in there. We're using a couple different nodes in a couple creative ways. They all condense down. Boom. You've got your N. That is what we have to look forward to. But for now, ladies and gentlemen, I think that's going to be everything for today. Check out the fourth wall page. There's free stuff there if you want free stuff, right? Check it out. Join the Discord for suggesting videos or presets, things that you want to see. I am considering doing some how-to tutorials on things like audio, keyboard customization, just ways you can edit better, use the tools, know the tools, make cool stuff. But yeah, that is going to be everything for this stream. Thank you to everyone so much for tuning in and chatting. Add the sound effect during the next one. We will do that. Actually, I think we have here just for you, Goku. We'll do this here. Let me turn this up. Make sure that I have my system sounds on. Here we go. There you go. Pretty good. Pretty darn good. Okay. But yeah, thank you everyone so much for tuning in. Can't wait to see you all for the next stream. Video will hopefully be coming out sometime Wednesday. Next stream will be Saturday, and then there might be an extra video in between there. So yeah, something to look forward to. All right. Cheers, guys. Stay cool. Keep making cool things. I will see you in the next one.